The desert had always carried secrets, but Ethan Marrow never imagined one of them would rise from the cracked soil of his late father's ranch on a blistering July afternoon. For years, Ethan had avoided returning to the land he grew up on, a desolate stretch near the Arizona-New Mexico border, where silence clung to the air, like a second skin. But the foreclosure letters and the guilt of abandonment finally forced him back. As he swung the pickaxe into the stubborn ground behind the old cattle shed, trying to clear out the property for appraisal, the steel struck something that sang, like a bell, a hard, sharp ring that vibrated through his bones. At first he thought it was just a rusted pipe or some buried scrap. But the more he dug, the more the shape emerged. A smooth stone tablet, impossibly black under the sun, carved with spirals that twisted over each other like serpents devouring their own tails. The carved lines seemed to pulse with a faint reddish glow, almost like embers trapped in obsidian. Ethan wiped his forehead, confused, then lifted it, cold as winter, heavy as regret. And the moment his fingers curled around its edges, a low throbbing hum filled the air, as though something ancient had awakened after centuries of sleep. A sudden wind kicked up dust devils across the ranch yard, slamming the shed door shut behind him. Ethan stumbled back, heart hammering, but curiosity, mixed with unease, made him hold the tablet up to the light. It felt wrong, like the stone itself breathed. He carried it inside, placing it on the cracked wooden table where his father used to sit with maps and whiskey and mutter about things best left buried. Ethan never believed those superstitions, but now the tablet stared at him like an unblinking eye. He tried to convince himself it was nothing, just some old artifact, maybe from a settler or a miner. But the ranch had never been touched by anyone except Apaches long before state lines were drawn, and that thought needled his spine. That night, as the desert cooled and coyotes yelped in the distance, Ethan sat alone with the stone, tracing its patterns with a flashlight. The spirals reminded him of storms, of claws, of something trapped and reaching outward. Then a sudden knock on the door made him jump. It wasn't the hesitant tap of a stranger. It was the heavy, deliberate pounding of someone who knew exactly who they had come for. When Ethan opened the door, 3 people stood beneath the porch light. They weren't tourists, and they weren't lost. The oldest of them, a tall man wrapped in a faded red-patterned blanket, fixed. Ethan with eyes as sharp as obsidian blades. "You found something today," the elder said. Not as a question, but as a verdict. Ethan swallowed. "It's a rock. I mean an artifact. I don't know what it is." The elder exchanged glances with the 2 younger members. Behind him, a man and woman in their 30s with serious, unwavering expressions. "May we see it?" the elder asked. Something in his voice made Ethan step aside without argument, and they walked in like people entering a sacred space. The moment the elder saw the tablet, he inhaled sharply, almost stepping back as if the thing had struck him. The younger woman whispered, "Grandfather." "It's real." The elder nodded slowly, his weathered fingers trembling, as he reached out but stopped, short of touching the stone. "This was not meant to be unearthed," he murmured. "Not by your hands, not by any hands." Ethan stiffened. "What do you mean? What is it?" The elder closed his eyes. "We call it the Heart of Kushad. In our stories, it is a relic carved long before the Apache walked these lands, older than our oldest songs. It is said to contain a piece of something that does not belong to this world." Ethan frowned. "A myth?" The elder opened his eyes, and the intensity in them made Ethan's mouth go dry. "Not a myth. A warning." Before Ethan could respond, the air thickened, the same thrumming hum he'd heard earlier, rising like a heartbeat beneath the floorboards. The lights flickered. The shadows stretched unnaturally long across the walls. The younger man stepped toward the stone, chanting softly in Apache, but the humming grew louder, angrier, vibrating through the wooden beams of the house. Ethan staggered, back as objects on the shelves, rattled, and the temperature dropped as if the desert night had been replaced by the depths of a cavern. "Stop!" the elder ordered sharply, grabbing the younger man's shoulder. "It is awake now. There is no quieting it." Ethan, pale and shaking, managed, "What does it want?" The elder turned to him, voice hoarse. "It wants what was taken from it long ago. And now that you've touched it, now that you've awakened it, the desert will not rest. They insisted on staying the night, refusing to let Ethan remain alone. As midnight bled into the early hours, the elder explained more. The heart is part of a trinity of relics, he said, his voice a low rumble. Beneath the crackling of the fire they'd built in the fireplace, it binds something imprisoned in the land, something our ancestors feared so deeply that they forsook entire valleys to keep it contained. Ethan didn't speak, too shaken to interrupt. According to our stories, the elder continued, when the heart awakens, the imprisoned spirit remembers its hunger. Ethan shivered despite the fire. Hunger for what? The elder met his gaze. For life, for vengeance, for release. Outside, the wind roared as though the desert itself were grieving. The younger woman watched the window, tense, her hand gripping a small leather pouch filled with sage. The younger man circled the relic, whispering protective chants, but the humming of the stone never stopped. It rose and fell like breath, like something inside was testing the boundaries of its confinement. Around 3 a.m, Ethan drifted into a restless half-sleep, only to be jolted awake by a sound that froze the marrow in his bones. Footsteps, circling the house, slow, heavy, purposeful. The elder shot upright, motioning for silence. The fire dimmed as though sucked inward by a vacuum. The younger woman peered through the curtains, then quickly shut them. They're here, she whispered. Ethan's adrenaline spiked. Who's here? The elder placed a hand on Ethan's shoulder. There are spirits that protect the boundaries of this land, and others that wander, searching for what was stolen from them. Your digging has stirred more than dust. Ethan Marrow. A sudden hard knock struck the door, 3 times. Perfectly spaced, like ritual or judgment. Ethan's breath caught. Another knock, this time harder, shaking the frame. The younger man grabbed Ethan's wrist. Don't answer it. No matter what you hear. Outside, a voice rose, distorted and wavering, like someone speaking through a long tunnel. Give it back. Ethan stumbled backward, heart racing. That's not real. That's, the elder snapped. It is real, and it knows you're the one who woke it. The voice outside grew louder, angrier, echoing across the desert like the wail of a dying animal. Give it back! Give it back now! The walls trembled. The fire blew out. For a moment, they sat in absolute darkness. The only sound, the relic's heartbeat thrum vibrating through the floor. Then the relic flashed, a deep crimson light that swallowed the room whole, and Ethan felt a cold hand brush the back of his neck, chilling him to the core. The elder lunged forward and pressed his palm over the relic, chanting with a force that made the air ripple. The crimson glow dimmed enough for Ethan to breathe again, but the presence outside remained, circling the house, scraping against the wood siding with nails made of stone. Finally, as dawn approached, the scraping stopped, replaced by an eerie, unnatural silence. No birds, no wind, no insects, just the punishing quiet of a land holding its breath. The elder slumped into a chair, exhausted. It will return tonight, he said. And the next, until its hunger is satisfied. Ethan stared at the relic, dread coiling in his gut. What do I do? The elder's expression hardened. You must come with us to the reservation. There are rites we must perform, and you will not like what we must demand. Next. Ethan ran a trembling hand through his hair. Demand? Demand what? The elder looked him dead in the eyes. Your blood, Ethan. Blood binds the relic. Blood awakened it. Blood must answer for it. Ethan's stomach dropped. Before he could protest, the elder added, if you refuse, the spirit will not stop with you. It will take everything on this land, and everyone near it. A long, heavy silence filled the room as the sun finally crept over the horizon, casting pale light over the cursed stone between them. The relic pulsed one last time, slow, deliberate, like a warning that the terror had only begun. And as the chapter closes, the voices of the tribe, the warnings in the wind, and the darkness shifting beneath the earth all whisper the same truth. What Ethan uncovered was never meant to be found, and what the tribe demands next will terrify him in ways he has never imagined. If you want the story to continue, and believe me, Chapter 2 gets even darker and more shocking, make sure you subscribe to the channel because you won't want to miss what happens when the relic's true power finally awakens.